Well, I guess we're here.
Today's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day?
Hot damn, we gotta go.
Where are mine?
Really? I didn't know about this. I guess we're gonna have to be competing a bit with the thunder for this hour. Damn, we gotta go.
Where are mine?
Really? I didn't know about this.
Ah, Chris Rosinski. The Atlantic in Mid-Coast, Maine. Hello, Chris. From Chris. We originally planned to go up to Maine this year, but not gonna make it. I would never keep chocolate chip cookies from him. In risk of losing my life.
Look at that. It's 2 o'clock.
We're here.
And time. Episode number 172 of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with us, Geeks on Tour. I guess we should put us in there too. Today's beginner's lesson is a hodgepodge of tips. And here's our first one. What's up, Chris?
One of my very favorite things to do is editing pictures with Google Photos. And I want you to know, there's a slide, that you can do more than what first meets the eye with Google Photos. So, for example, if you look at the picture in this slide, this was just last week. We went paddling out in the ocean and went scuba diving. I took a picture of Jim, but notice how his face is all in the shadow. Well, if I just use the command to lighten the whole picture, it's going to wash out the skies. Notice the second picture. Let me show you how I did that. So in Google Photos, I've made an album for all the things I'm going to do today. There is that photo. If I just tap on the edit button, and I could choose one of these, but I go through all these and I don't know, that one's a little bit too much, etc., etc. So I'm going to go back to my original and show you how to manually adjust it. That is this, I'm going to call that the tuning button there. And it looks like all you have is light and color. If I just increase the light till I can see his face, look how washed out the clouds are. So no, that's not what I want to do. I want to get more detail. That's what this little drop down arrow is for. Now, instead of just adjusting the lights, I can choose to adjust exposure, contrast, whites, highlights. This shadow one, let's put everything back to normal. This shadow one is the one that will lighten up just the shadows. Watch this. So his face is getting lighter without, and the ocean too, where there are shadows. Wherever there are shadows, it's getting lighter, but without totally washing out. And that's it for light. Now under color, same thing. I would like the sky to be bluer. But if I just increase color, that red and the green get a little bit too fake. So I'm going to drill down underneath color, and at the bottom there's something called deep blue. Increase deep blue, and that is what it does. It just makes blues bluer without affecting the reds and the greens. And as long as, now you have to close that up then to get back to the other thing. So I close up. And as long as I'm in here, I should straighten it a little. The horizon is a little bit crooked there. All right. Now I want to see what I've done. If I long press, there was my original, there is my edited.
I like the edited better.
Isn't it? I am so impressed. You know, people that say Google Photos doesn't have much of the way in editing, I think need to learn more. And I save it, and I'm done.
Cool. What happened there?
So that is drilling down into more detailed edits.
Yeah. So we invite you to sign up for our newsletters. Just go to geeksontour.com news, subscribe to this channel on YouTube, become a premium member at Geeks on Tour, and Chris has Mrs. Geek's Guide to Google Photos. You can get that at Amazon. So we have a few people saying hi there. Bill and Karen, Chris Rosinski, Ron Brown,
Catherine Tracy.
Hey,
hi.
How are things in South Carolina? Pam Willard, Frederick, Maryland. We've been there. Jeff Turner from continent to continent.
In the UK,
Wow, cool. So we got a bunch of people in there. How about that?
All right.
So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop those into the chat there, and we'll try and get to them as we go along. All right. Well, hi. I'm Jim, here together with my wife, Chris. We are Geeks on Tour. And do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your Android phone or your iPad tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this show. We pick a different topic each week and go into it. All of these are recorded and collected on our website, geeksontour.com, so you can have continuous lifelong learning by following our website.
So, Chris, where are we now?
We're home, and we went diving again last week. This time we went off a boat and did a wreck dive, though, and you made a great little video of it.
Yeah?
So I want people to know they can see that video by going to Facebook, our Facebook page, facebook.com/geeksontour. It's about a 3-minute video.
I think it's closer to 5, but yeah.
about a wreck dive.
Yeah. Okay, after this show, we just are doing this something new. It's called the Backstage Pass, and it is a place where you can come in and join with us, your community, with our community. And it's a Zoom meeting. You need a camera. Well, you don't need it, but if you want us to see you, you need a camera, and you need a microphone in order to talk.
Every laptop has the camera and microphone we're talking about.
Right, a lot of desktops don't, but if you have a smartphone, you can download the Zoom app, and you can get in there, and we'll show you how that all works a little bit later.
It's really fun, and you can ask us anything, and we hope to learn some things from you, too.
Yeah, it's great. Questions over here? Let's see. See anything in there? Bunch of hellos. Wondering what the change to Google Photos, which no longer auto-syncs with Drive. Paul, we have the answer for you.
One of our tips does address that, and then there is more, but one of our tips does address that, so we'll talk about that.
Jim Fitz says hello.
Hey,
are you
Jim.
Coming to Minot? No, we are not. That's going to be the first international convention for the Family Motor Coach Association that we've missed
since 2005.
Yeah, so
we've been to every one.
We're going to miss you if you're going to be up there. There's Jolin, Good Sunday from Hilton Head Island, and the computer club up there. Cool.
Hi, honey.
Yeah, hi, dear.
Honey Bert.
Oh, hi.
And Laverne, good to see you today.
Yeah, great. Okay, what else is going on here? Any questions? I don't see any questions. We are gonna go on. Our beginner's lesson today, Hodgepodge.
I didn't feel like coming up with a lesson today.
She can do whatever she wants.
So we're just gonna throw tips at you.
Okay. And this is something we actually used ourselves here.
This was so cool. How many of you... Well, tell them what we cleaned out our storage unit this week.
Yay!
We've had junk in a storage unit for years.
A lot of it was her mom's, but a bunch of it was ours and a couple other. Yeah.
And one of the things that you probably have in your storage unit or attic too is VHS tapes. This one is of our wedding.
Hey!
We do not have any way to watch a V. We don't have. Well, you have one old one in the closet
and the
somewhere.
last time I tried it, it was eating tapes, and that's not one I wanted it to eat.
You want to eat, yeah. So how am I going to watch this? And we also ran across this 8mm tape that says it's of me teaching Word Perfect. That was in 1989.
I think we should make them watch a little bit of that.
I think I will. So, what do? Well, we've been going to Costco a fair amount lately, and I know that if you go to a Costco that has a photo center, they have the service. So I think, okay, let's see how it goes. We dropped these off. We got back DVDs.
And how long did that take?
It took less than a week. They said it would take 3 to 4, but it took less than a week before they were back.
Yeah, 2 of them came in, and then the third one came in the next day.
So we got the DVD. Well, we even only have one computer around here that can play DVDs.
Uh-oh. We're old-fashioned.
I just got all blurry there.
Yeah.
But I started using that to convert it to MP4s. We have software that'll do that. But then I noticed that in the advertisement that came with the DVD, it says you can save these to your Google Photos. Whoa! All I had, it says get started with Google Photos at CostcoDVD.com/Google Photos.
Wow.
I did that. All I had to do was check a little box and tell it my Google ID, and lo and behold, within minutes, and let's show them that.
Okay.
Within minutes, I had those videos in my Google Photos, so I can show you. I won't show you the whole half hour, but this is me in 1989.
And we're here at Computer Savvy in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This video is for the purpose of recertifying myself for WordPerfect 5.1. I've been a certified instructor since 1987. I've been here with Computer Savvy since 1983. This particular portion that I'm going to be covering is for macro variables. It's going to be 20 minutes for purposes of this video. It normally would be just a part of our advanced WordPerfect course and would be preceded by a review of simple macros. My students...
Okay. I love watching that whole half hour, remembering where I was in 1989.
Wow.
Still teaching technology.
That's about that time when I started doing work for you too.
About that. It may have been a year later.
Sometime around
Yeah.
then.
So that that is just so fun. And like I say, all it was a checkbox, no extra charge.
Jim wants to know what the website is.
CostcoDVD.com.
CostcoDVD.com.
But you have to physically take your tapes into Costco, and then they just farm it out to somebody called Yes Video. And I don't, and we have nothing to do with Costco. We paid full price for this. I just thought it was so cool.
But Bill wants to know if we had a hot dog and yogurt.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Isn't that
it is great.
the requirement?
Oh, yeah. Go into Costco, have a hot dog. Yeah. Andrew, curious, what did it cost to do the DVD?
It was $20 for 2 hours.
Okay.
So we did like 5 of them, and they combined them. Or we had 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was $20 for 2 hours.
Bill and Karen still miss WordPerfect code reveals.
Reveal codes, right?
Oh, man.
You'll take reveal codes out of my cold, dead hands,
I was working in computer support, and we had a lot of WordPerfect in there, and I knew how to press F3 pretty well. But, yeah, people were just crying because they were being forced into Word and away from their WordPerfect, and even though it would do everything, they had to learn a whole new way, and they had everything, all of their macros, and wow.
Oh, yeah.
WordPerfect was amazing. She was one of the first 17 certified WordPerfect instructors in the world.
I went out to Orem, Utah, to go through all their training back in the 80s.
So, Chris, could Google Photos adjust your videos?
No.
No?
I mean, the only thing it can do, and I did do for that, we'll show you what it can do with videos. That's, I think, the next tip.
Yeah? Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Let's take a look.
It cannot make them, it cannot color correct them. It cannot do any of the editing like you can with photos.
Yeah.
But what it can do, so this is tip number 2. Video stabilization with Google Photos. Now this is Android only, so I have my iPad in front of the camera right now. Video stabilization is not available on the Android. I mean on the iOS. So let me show you my Android phone. Open up Google Photos and show you a video that I picked just for this purpose. So see how it's kind of jiggly. The video is, I'm hand holding it as I'm walking. This was in New Zealand, beautiful beach. And it's a little bit jerky. So what can you do? In Google Photos, there is the edit button. But you only get 2 choices. Stabilize and rotate, and trim. So I could, if I wanted to start the video at a different place or end the video at a different place. Oh shoot, I touched rotate, I didn't mean to. But what I want to show you on this one is stabilize. I just tap stabilize, and it takes a minute to work its magic. Usually not too long. This is a 30-second video, I think. And it also can't work wonders. But if the video is just a little bit jerky, this will help smooth it out. So now I'm going to play it again. There we go. And can you see how much smoother that is?
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, not maybe a huge difference, but enough that this just is easier on the eyes. And then you just save. I'm not going to though. I'm gonna keep that jerky so I can use it again. One other thing it can do is rotate. Now this doesn't happen very often, but if you do happen to have a video, and this one just popped up on me, that got recorded wrong, I can edit and rotate. And now the video is right.
More people need to learn that one. I see quite a few videos like on Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah, Instagram's not so bad, but you see them out there and they're, oh well.
I think Facebook actually has an edit button that will do that same thing. So okay, so that was tip number 2.
A lot of people in there commenting about love WordPerfect. Use it more than Word, Jolin. Okay. Laverne misses WordPerfect and Quattro Pro.
Oh my. How about VisiCalc, guys?
Yeah, I started with VisiCalc, and yeah. Okay, can you trim videos on iPhones?
Yes. You can trim and you can rotate on iPhones. The only thing that requires the Android is the stabilize.
Okay. Warren says the only constant is change. Andrew says he misses Multimate. You're old, man.
Oh, really?
Can you stabilize multiple times if it is really bad?
I've never tried that.
That's a good question.
I guess you could because when you stabilize, it does save a copy. So that's a brand new video. Good question.
Okay. So that was video stabilization.
Okay, ready for tip number 3. And this one is about the fact that Google Photos no longer syncs to Google Drive.
And we had a question about that.
Right. So there used to be a setting on Google Drive that would automatically get all the photos from Google Photos, and there used to be a setting on Google Photos that would automatically get everything from Google Drive. You can still transfer photos back and forth, but only manually. And here's how to go from Google Photos to Google Drive.
Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and this tutorial video is because Google Drive no longer syncs with Google Photos. So if you want to get photos from Google Photos to Drive, what do? There is no automatic method, only manual, and you need the Google Photos app. You can't use a computer, either Android or iOS, but it must be the app. So I'm going to show you how. You must have both the Google Photos app and the Google Drive app installed on your phone. Then you select the photos from Google Photos, you click the Share button, and share to Google Drive. Let me show you how. So here's my phone. I just want to make a point that I have both the Photos app and the Drive app installed on the phone. Open Photos. Find the photos I want. I have them in an album. I have an album for my best photos in July. I'm going to open that album and select all the photos. You do that by long pressing on the first one and then just dragging down, and it's going to select every photo. If you have text blocks like I do, they won't be selected. All the photos are selected. I now tap the Share button and choose Save to Drive. Now I'm in Drive, and and all the way at the bottom we'll see what folder it's planning on saving them to. I don't want it saved in that folder. I want to make a new folder actually. So that's this little folder plus. If I wanted to select an existing folder, I would just back up until I see all my existing folders. But then I can make a new one called 2019 July. Select that folder and then save. Let's take a look to be sure it got there. I'm going to open Drive, My Drive, and we should see a 2019 July photos, and there are all my photos in my Google Drive.
A couple of things in there.
Or Lotus 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Lotus Notes?
Oh.
That was the death of us. Yeah. That was the end.
Okay.
So, what did you think? That, takes a little bit of thought. But, why they stopped the automatic? Because it wasn't what people thought it was. People turned that on and thought that they were backing up, getting another copy of their photos from Google Photos to Google Drive.
And then they would delete.
And then I delete from the other side, from the original side. And that's not the case. It was actually the same photo, just showing up in both places.
Looking at it from a different perspective.
Now it is a copy. So when you import from one to the other, either way, it is actually a copy. And I think that makes a lot more sense.
Does to me, anyway.
Tip number 4, we're on to maps now. So we figure our topics are photos, maps, and just smartphone miscellaneous stuff. So that was the photos, maps, sharing your location. I like to know where he is at all times.
Why is that?
So I'm home and I said, okay, I will get XYZ done before you get home, right? Well, I procrastinate and I lollygag and I figured, oh dear, I wonder how close to home he is. How much time do I have left? I'll get out the map and see where he is.
Now, I can turn that off. in case I want to go.
Better not.
If I go to my girlfriend's house.
Okay, but let me show you how easy it is. And it's not just for having it on all the time.
And
so I'm on the phone, and this is either Android or iOS, doesn't matter, as long as it's Google Maps. It's Google Maps that we're doing here. And there, oh, look at that. He's right next to me. But where it is, it's on the 3-line menu and location sharing. But let's say that we are going up to his sister's house in West Palm, and she needs to, it's a surprise party or something. She needs to know when exactly we will arrive. Well, I can add her. She's not there. I'm just going to add this person. And I can add for 2 hours, for example. I can say however many hours I want, and at the end of that time, it will stop sharing. Or I can say, share my location with this person until I turn it off. Or what I have with Jim is I have it shared all the time.
Right.
I guess until you turn it off, and I don't turn it off.
Right. But you will get, occasionally you'll get a notification saying that, a reminder that you're sharing your location with somebody if you have it set to not turn off.
Right. Like on how we have it. He is always sharing with me. I am always sharing with him. But notice on this screenshot, it's reminding me, Jim can see your location, and that is ongoing.
So that's good in case you go to your boyfriend's house, right?
Right. You also get an email once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been happening just recently. I got an email saying, just reminding you, you're sharing your location with Jim. Okay.
Well, there was a question there. Can you use a computer to drive from Photos to Drive? I guess.
From Photos to Drive? No, you can't. It has to be done with that share. If you tap the share from Photos on a computer, Drive is not one of the options. Or, if you can, I haven't figured it out. If you figure it out, let me know.
Let us know and we'll teach that. Okay, Richard, how to download photos from Google Drive to a new hard drive on a new computer.
Download photos from Google Drive. Well,
yeah, you would just create.
You could download, you can select a folder of photos, and Google Drive has a command for download.
And then you just choose where you want to put them.
Or you can use the Google Backup and Sync software that is on your computer. And we have videos on that too. Member videos.
All right. So we're
ready for tip number 5.
Offline maps. Are you going to do it?
Oh, yeah. But I don't want to show the video on this one. I want to do it manual.
All right.
So this, a couple years ago, we rented a car in Zagreb, Croatia, and we drove around. Google Maps was great, but we didn't have an internet connection. So let me show you what we did. I can search for Zagreb on the map, and I want to download offline map. I want to save the map to my phone so that we can navigate even without an internet connection. 3-line menu and offline maps. Select your own map. So this is just showing me Zagreb. That's not enough. We're going way east of there to
south.
Mostly. So notice as I pinch the screen, there comes a point when the whole screen gets smaller. So that is as big of an area as I can capture in a downloaded map. Well, but we're going way over here. I would like to get about that same area, but I want it east to west rather than north to south. Watch this. There. Now I can get from... Where'd Zagreb go? From Zagreb all the way over to, that's where we went on the east, and that's where we went on the west. Cool. Download. And when it's done, and you're driving along, When you lose internet, it will automatically switch over to the offline map. There are some things that don't work on offline maps. You know, you can't get as many restaurant details or gas stations or that kind of stuff. But for your basic navigation, it works fine with the offline map.
Okay. Next. Remembering places you want to go.
Oh, we're still on maps here. And I use Google Maps. And we went to a meeting the other night and started talking to an old friend about how we plan to go diving in the Indian Ocean next year. And he said, oh, there's this place in Southwest India that you've got to go to. So I said, okay, where? And he pointed, I opened up my map and he pointed to it, Kerala. And all I had to do, let's say that he also said Tiruvana, whatever that is. All you do is tap save. And you can save it in any number of lists. I just use this want to go. Notice I have 95 places that I want to go. And then you can also add a note. So I'm really not going to do that one because I'll get messed up. And I go back to the map. I see the place that I have marked. And when I tap on saved, I can see the comment that I wrote down. This was our friend's name and what he said about this place as to why we have to go. I love that. So anytime we are in a given area and I look at my map, I will see my want to go places.
Very cool. Let's get over here for a sec. Let's see. Paul says he moved photos from Drive to Google Photos using his Windows 10 computer.
Yes, Drive to Photos. That's the other direction. They did add a new command to Google Photos under the upload button. There is a upload from Drive, but they did not add one the other way around. So that's, yeah.
And Chris says it will work on a Chromebook.
If you're using the app,
right,
rather than the web version
right.
of Google Photos.
Okay, location sharing. Karen noticed that offline maps expire. That's true.
Yes.
What are they, 90 days? 60 days? I forget.
It said so when I did it. I didn't notice. 60 or 90. Right. I noticed some of our New Zealand maps are about to expire.
About to expire.
That was from February.
Mm-hmm. All right. Number 7. Change playback speed on YouTube.
Yes, I like this one.
Okay.
562.
All right.
The quick tip is about watching videos on YouTube and that there's a setting to speed them up or slow them down. So on YouTube, sometimes you want it to go faster. And you have 3 choices, 1 1/4 speed, 1 1/2, or double speed. And vice versa, sometimes the speaker is going too fast and you want to slow it down.
Slow it down.
And that's still a speed setting. You just go to the other side. You have 3/4 speed, half speed, or 1/4 speed. And on the computer, you do it by clicking the little gear. But I want to show you on a phone. Here is a YouTube video. And it's playing.
With Geeks on Tour.
And you hear me talking.
I'm going to do a factory reset on my iPhone 7 Plus and record the whole process so that you can see how it works.
Okay. You tap the 3-dot menu in the upper right on the phone, and there's playback speed right there. And 1 1/2, I can usually listen to pretty good, and it makes it go faster.
Works. Why am I doing that? Well, this is a 2-year-old phone, and I am constantly getting messages that it's full. I delete what I can, but it's just too much
But now it's just too fun to try it at double speed.
work to keep up with that. It's slowing down, and it even just crashes, hangs up sometimes. So a factory reset should clear it completely out and start over like it's a brand new phone. What I really want is
So if you really want to get through a video quickly, there's the playback speed. And then on the other side, you can slow it down.
And I want a 128 gigabyte.
I think she's been drinking.
Okay.
Too funny.
So that can be fun, but the 1.5 speed I really have found useful.
I think she's been drinking. All right. Number 8. Google Maps versus Waze. Now, this is something that's really kind of blending together quickly, and things are changing at Google Maps. They bought Waze a couple of years ago.
8 years ago, I looked it up.
And they've been incorporating some of this stuff and moving it back and forth. Waze has been forever the crowdsourced way to share your travels. A lot of people use it on their commute to see if maybe there's a faster way around some traffic, or at least to see the traffic and things like that, right? So Waze has been out there. Google Maps is our go-to.
Yeah, I hear people talking so much about, I really like Waze. Waze is the best, blah, blah, blah. And, well, number one, did you know that Waze is owned by Google? It's the same company making it as Google Maps. But number two, we use them both. So I have Google Maps when we're on the road, navigating on my phone. Jim has his phone stuck up on the dash, and it's using Waze. And when we come up to a turn, Google Maps will say, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto the North 162nd freeway. And Waze just says,
turn right ahead.
Turn right ahead. I so prefer the directions of Google Maps. I don't get why people so like Waze. All I can think of is that they like the kind of gamification there is in Waze. If there is a hazard in the road, there's a little button that you can tap in Waze saying, yep, there's a hazard here.
Or there's no longer a hazard here.
And it is a little bit better in navigation locally. So if you use it for commuting, it knows all the better ways because of the crowdsourcing. But if you're traveling around the country and you're places where you don't know where you are, I think Google Maps is better. And as you say, Google Maps is now starting to get some of the, you said you think you saw recently in Google Maps an ability to say
certain things. And another thing, as a local guide, I can report road closures and an emergency and things like that. So those things will be showing up too
in Google Maps.
And they'll possibly be on Waze too, but somebody has to put them in there as a flooded road or something like that.
And maybe another thing people like about Waze, it's a little bit cleaner screen.
Yeah.
And that's because it's intended to be a navigation tool, period. Whereas Google Maps is intended to be a complete database about our world. You can see that there's a restaurant, you can see the menu and the hours and all of that. You can't get that in Waze. But it does make the Google Maps screen maybe a little more crowded.
Okay. Let's see.
Waze will not do satellite on Android.
And you can see satellite view on Maps.
Anytime on Maps,
right.
Yeah.
Right, and seeing speed traps in Google Maps recently in the Northeast, right? So that's been in Waze a long time, and red light cameras, other things that are in Waze that aren't yet into Google Maps.
And just the speed limit now shows up in Google Maps. That's pretty cool. That's really nice. So they're both great, but just know they are both by Google.
Okay. Google phone.
Speaking of Google,
I have a Google phone, don't you? What's the difference? What's the deal?
so there's primarily Apple and Android, right? Apple makes iOS. That's the operating system is iOS. And Apple makes the iPhone and the iPad. So they make the operating system, they make the hardware. Everything is controlled by Apple, which a lot of people like the Apple better than because it gets operating system updates right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have all those bloatware extra apps that get put on by the manufacturer, like most Android phones, because most Android phones are made by somebody else.
Yeah.
Samsung, Motorola, LG, Nokia. And that means that there's competing owners in that phone. Google makes the Android operating system, but Samsung makes everything else about the phone.
And there can be some finger pointing going on if you're having a problem with something on your phone. The operating system people, Google, will say, oh, the problem's with Samsung or Nokia. And Nokia will say, well, we're working on that. The other thing is you're not going to get your updates.
You can wait a year sometimes, can't you, to get an operating system update for one of these other manufacturers.
Or they'll just make it go away and you won't get an update after a while. If you have a Google phone, one made by Google, they will give you the update sooner than anybody, or as soon as it's ready, and you just don't have to wait. It's pretty good.
So how can you tell that that is a Google phone?
It has a G on the back. See that? Can you see the G?
Yeah. Whereas an Apple phone has an apple on the back, this has the Google G.
That. Makes us go out of focus.
The Google G on the back.
All right. But another nice thing about this, well, several nice things, Google Photos. If you have a Google phone, a Pixel phone, you get unlimited full-size videos and photos in Google Photos. They don't shrink them down. They don't do that added compression on your
You don't have to choose high quality.
Right, 16 megapixels. Yeah, I don't think you even get the choice. Another thing is you get chat and phone support.
Yeah, I want to show them that.
Phone support on the phone. Okay. So
yeah, have you ever said, I wish I could call somebody? You know, we don't let you call us. You can, if you're a member, you can ask questions in the forum, but so on this, what do I do?
Swipe down from the top twice. You can do the same thing with 2 fingers to get there. And then the gear at the bottom right, you can use search too. And then down at the bottom, tips and support. And then at the bottom of this, there is a chat, contact us, and phone. They do have hours. You can't go anytime, just anytime, but they have regular hours, long hours, and they will give you support. It's a great thing to have.
We don't use it very often, but we have heard from other people who've called and gotten great help all the time. So that's pretty cool. So that's just a tip about what is a Pixel phone. I've had a lot of people ask me that.
Okay.
I think we're on the last tip.
Volume buttons, ringer or media?
Okay. So you say, my phone, when it rings, it needs to be louder. And you figure that you'll just use your volume buttons. But is that doing the ringer or is that doing your YouTube volume? Well, it depends.
That messes me up.
Yeah, if I was on a YouTube video now and I pressed the volume, it would probably do that. But look at this. You just swipe down and there are all the different. So I can say I want my ringtone to be all the way up, but I don't want my media. That's your videos and audio. That's on Android. Now on the iPhone, it's a setting. So right now, if I press my volume up button, it tells me ringer, but yours may not. Settings and sounds and haptics. Ringer and alerts change with buttons. If you do not have that on, then your volume buttons will never affect your ringer. You have to come in here to settings and set your ringer. I actually kind of like that. So you know, so you aren't messing up when you change your volume on other things. But
now on my Pixel, when I hit
even different.
Yeah, when I hit the volume, it's hard to see it here, but you can have
there's a settings
there's
button.
a settings button down there. So hit the volume and hit the settings, and then you get all of those choices again. So that's how it is with mine. And I kind of like that. All right.
And that's it for my 10 tips this week.
Okay. It's great support. Yeah, on the Pixel. Absolutely. Bill wants to know how we stop the cameras from going out of focus. Well, there might be a setting to have a fixed focus on yours. I usually have mine set to autofocus, and it does a pretty good job until I start sticking things in front of it and messing up the focus. I would rather have that. Andrew, we'll see you later. Catch the rest in replay. We're done anyway, so let's see.
We're not completely done.
Not completely done. We have a few things. We do invite you to become a member at geeksontour.com. Join now. See our website. That is geeksontour.com. And we're always here for the weekly class. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell so you get notifications. Other questions? Doesn't look like it.
Terrific, 10.
Hey,
thanks, Alan.
Appreciate that. Okay. Well, did you learn something? What option in Google Photos can lighten a face without washing out the sky? A, brighten, B, light, C, shadows, or D, HDR?
C, shadows, and it's underneath the light setting.
True or false? Pressing a volume button always adjusts ringtone volume.
False. Depends on your settings.
Which navigation app allows you to add information about current traffic? Waze, Google Maps, Maps.me, or Apple Maps?
A, Waze, and a little bit with Google Maps now.
It's getting there. A Pixel phone is A, a new maker of iPhones, B, 100% Google phone, or C, a virtual phone?
B, 100% Google phone.
True or false, when you share your location using Google Maps, you can specify when to stop sharing.
Absolutely true.
And to make a YouTube video go faster, what do?
Change the setting for playback speed.
All right. Members only. If you should have gotten an email with this Backstage Pass, but if you haven't, you can go over to our website and geeksontour.com, and right up here, episode 172 will take you to this page, and down here is the link. So if you're a member, go ahead and click on that link, and we'll see you over in the green room and the Backstage Pass.
See you on the flip side.
Yeah.
Next week we are going to do another live show, and Michael Daniels will be here with us talking about Google Keep.
Yeah.
I like Google Keep a lot. It's a really good note-taking to-do list.
Okay. So, Chris, the webpage that lists all of our weekly shows.
Geeksontour.com. The menu item is weekly class.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com. Blogs and news is the menu item.
All right. And why do people pay $58 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
A lot of people do it just to say thank you for everything we do for free, because we like to teach. So we do have specific member benefits: 7 ebooks, hundreds of videos, asking us questions on our Q&A page, and the Backstage Pass so that you can meet with us individually.
All right, so Chris was mentioning next week we're going to have Michael Daniels on. I don't know if he's here in the watching now, but a lot of times he's one of in our audience, and he is just fantastic. You'll really enjoy learning from Michael, and we always do. And Google Keep is something that I've been using for a while now.
But I know that he has some tips for us.
Well, that's it for this week. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. What does this button do?
See you backstage.
Okay, we're
Keep
out of here.
pushing those buttons. That's